All right, I am live. Let's see. I'm sure absolutely no one is watching right now, so there's that. Anyone watching? No, no one is watching. Live. Oh, well, okay. That works. Get the link for this, guys. Anyone watching? Guys, if you're watching, let me know. I've never done one of these before, so I am really bad at this. Yeah. How the hell do I know if someone's watching me? One viewer. Okay, I have someone watching. 2 of you. There are people watching. Hey, guys. Let me know who's watching in the chat. And we will get going. 2 people. This is cool. Hi, people. Remember how I said that I'm not important enough to do this? It's true, but apparently 2 people think I am. So there is that. Pull up the website. So we are $500 away from 3,100. Now remember, if we reach 3,100 by the time StarKid finishes this set, I will release 2 pictures from Trail to Oregon every day. Every 2,000. I can't talk. Hey, Alana. Okay, I have people watching. This is fun. This is real. And Nessie just tweeted me saying that it works. You guys can hear me, right? Because I've never done one of this before. So if I'm really bad, don't yell at me. Because I'm probably really bad at this. Okay. So for the next hour, we're going to be telling some stories about me working in Oregon. There are 4 people. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Adam Brunetti. I was the assistant stage manager for the New York run of Oregon Trail to Oregon. It's been a long day. So I've also worked with Joe Moses on the past 3 Joe Moses one-man shows, starting with the tour in Boston. So the tour between him, Kurt, and Tessa, I was the video guy for that at Improv Boston. I also did his... Oh, Sammy. Hi, Sammy. I also did the filming and the editing for the J-Moms in Chicago during the summer season. And then I did his New York J-Moms like October of the same year. As for my work with StarKid, so far it's only been for the off-Broadway run of Trail to Oregon. But, you know, from my talks with Nick and everyone, it seems like I'll be doing whatever they have up their sleeves from now on. I'm hoping it's going to continue. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people thinking that the show that they're doing right now is like a swan song. You know, it might be. I really don't know, to be honest. Honestly, I do not know if this is their big going away party. I'm not sure. But we're not going to get into that because that's depressing. So we are still $500 away from 3,100, not 31,000. Now that's my goal, to be able to reach by 9 o'clock my time. So within the next 54 minutes, if we can get them to 31,000, I will start to release two pictures every 2,000 we reach. I can't talk. So apparently doing low-key trying to watch Adam's live stream in the middle of class. All right, Mama Umbridge is watching in the middle of her class. This is fun. You know, people didn't really believe me when I said I was doing this. I kind of just did it for the hell of it. 6 viewers. I lost a viewer. Well, that's depressing. See, I'm not like fun like Joey or Corey, but I will do the Oreo challenge if I have to, because apparently that's a favorite thing for these. So, let me know in the chat, guys, what you want to hear. What kind of stories you want me to tell. I have stories of, if all the world's a stage, then where is the audience? Oh, we have about 7 people in the audience for this one, so that's not as bad. And that's 7 more people than I thought would be watching this. So, what if Spies doesn't... If they don't reach their goal with a few hundred to go, I don't think they'll be doing it. I can't guarantee that. Why can't Darren just give them the StarKids the money to do this? Apparently he already backed it. So apparently Darren does not feel like giving more. It's Darren. So, but yeah, if it doesn't get fully funded, it doesn't look like they'll be doing it for a while now. And I just want to make clear now, just legal issues, whatever. I'm not associated with Spies Are Forever yet. Unless they need me to work it. As of now, I will not be working the show, unfortunately. How much of a delay is on this thing? A little bit of a delay. Okay. Let me move so I can see you guys in the chat. All right, so that's why we really want to get this funding going. Is right now we still need $11,500 before they reach the goal, and we have 9 days to go. A lot of money per day that we need to reach. Why do the Yankee Doodle name the feather in his hat macaroni? He was probably on drugs. Oh, getting a Twitter tweet. Oh, on my phone. Yeah, probably on drugs. Okay, so I'm just gonna start telling stories about Trail to Oregon. So, about a week after they announced that they were going to bring the show to Broadway, I got a text from Nick at 4 in the morning. Now, this was the day that all the times changed over. So, I'm exhausted. It's 3 in the morning. It's just skipped 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's 3 in the morning. And I'm exhausted. And my phone, I forgot to put on silent. So, of course, it dings, wakes me up, and I'm like, okay, who the hell is texting me right now? So, I unlock the phone, and I look, and 4 messages from Nick Lang. And I'm reading, and it's, hey, so we would love to have you on board as our assistant stage manager for Trail to Oregon. So my first response is, you want me to what now? Like, me, right? Me? Like, me. Adam, hi. I didn't really believe it. And then my night ended up, I didn't sleep at all that day. My night ended up being a mixture of grinning like an idiot, laughing like an idiot, smiling like an idiot, and then I started crying like an idiot. Because the people I have, my idols for the past 5 years, just kind of offered me a job with them. So, next thing you know, I am on board, and I am the assistant stage manager for Trail to Oregon. So, what you got to know about working with StarKid is that things are very last minute sometimes. I got the script 4 days before I left for New York. So that was a thing. 9 viewers. Oh my god. Okay. So I get the script, and I'm getting all the information from Nick as we're going. I'm talking to Rachel on Facebook. I'm getting the rehearsal schedule. I'm getting the everything, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy crap. We had a 14-hour day that Monday just to load in. So, and of course, you're gonna notice I'm gonna skip throughout the story because so yeah, we had like a 14-hour day that Monday. I'm skipping over everything else because it's all boring. So I'm in New York now, and I'm staying with Stephanie Walsh, Side B Radio, who the Tin Can Brothers were just on it last night talking about the show. So I'm staying with Steph for that entire week because I can't afford a hotel in New York. So that Monday I get to the theater at like 10 that morning, and there's Nick, there's Brian, there's Mark Swiderski, my sound god, and I think Clark was there, and Ruby, our stage manager. So I meet the people who I haven't met already. So we're talking, we're getting to the theater, and we go in, and I didn't realize how big the stage was. Let's see if I can pull out my phone and show you. The ceiling of the stage was probably about 20 feet up. So when we're hanging lights, the only way to get to it was on a scaffolding, which if I moved an inch, the scaffolding would wobble about a foot. I took a lot of pictures that weekend, so some of them I probably shouldn't show, so I won't. But so I hope you can see that. So this, with Joey right there, this was the stage. So this was about 10 to 15 feet, but above this bar, there's like another 10 feet of just pipes that we were hanging the lights on. So me, who can't, even go on a roller coaster because I'm afraid of heights, here I am climbing up this scaffolding that we didn't really know how to put together. So it was like kind of put together. Let's see if this was the scaffolding. Where that's really bright. So we had to climb up this ladder on the very outside of the scaffolding to be able to just get up to the very top. Now there were no handrails. There was nothing to keep us. If we let go of the rung, we just fall 20 feet to our death. So that was fun. So we get up, and I'm up there, and I'm taking the light, and I'm focusing the state line that they cross when they get to Oregon. And all of a sudden, the doors to the theater open in the back, and I hear, well, who are these people that are working in my lobby? There's Darren just walking in, because he has to talk like Hedwig for that. So Darren shows up with Mia, and we're all talking. So I had no time to even go talk to him. But as he leaves, I just, I went to say goodbye. No clue who I was. Absolutely no fucking clue who I was. I'm like, hey, Darren, great to see you. Hey, man, hey, yeah, great to see you. Good. Oh, they got the whole gang back together. It was great. And I'm just like, you have no idea who I am, do you? So that was a thing. So that was about like 12 in the afternoon. He was exhausted. I mean, he had just, Mondays were his only days off. So having to go see us, then you could tell he had like a little glazed over look because he probably had no sleep, because not only was he doing Hedwig, he was doing all these private concerts all throughout New York. So like I got into New York the day before on that Sunday, And next, he's working a private show all night. And the next morning, there he is, exhausted as all hell, doesn't even know who I am. Thanks, Darren. Everyone else does. So that was fun. And we ended up being there from 10 in the morning to probably 2 o'clock the very next morning. So we set up the entire set. We're bringing in the door from the U-Haul. Now the door took 4 people to bring in. We have, what was it? I think Nick was on the front of it, because the way the door was the door. You have the door, but then you have the support, so they jutted out like that and that, but it couldn't fit through the door. The door couldn't go through the door. So you have Nick near the top of the door. You have me on one of the legs, and you have Brian holding on the other leg. And we're trying to get the door. And Nick apparently had watched Seinfeld the night before, or Friends the night before, and he's going, pivot, the door. So the entire load-in, every chance Nick got, he would go, pivot. So, and that was when I really started to realize, holy shit, these guys are insane. They were so much fun. So we got the whole setup, we got all the lighting going, we got the sound going, which just the sound wise, Mark did that all by himself. Originally I'd gone in thinking I was gonna be doing some sound for it. We got $60 donation. Look, I don't know if it was because of me. Nick, and Nick did that last impression even better than I did. Like, oh my. And I'd be backstage, probably in the dressing room, and he'd be downstairs on stage, and I would be able to hear pivot. I'm like, so the actors and the band got to the theater around like 2. So from 10 to 2, it was me, Nick, Brian, Ruby, and Mark. We were there 16 hours straight. It's a wonderful time with them, Ilana. So we were there for like 16 hours straight, and we had Angela Kessel, who was their stage manager for Elsie Fest and for the show they're doing right now. She came in and helped us. Proma came in and helped us a lot, and so there's about 7 of us working from 10 to 2 just by ourselves. And I am on a ladder hanging all the lights in the audience. And all of a sudden this music track starts playing through the sound system. And it's a PA test track that Mark had produced. So you hear like a drum beat. You hear a drum beat, all of a sudden you hear, warning, phase shift. And you can hear the audio crossing over, and you hear, this is the left channel. This is the left and it's coming out of the left channel. This is the right channel. Right channel. Comes out, warning, phase shift. You hear an alarm go off, and the right channel's going out of the left's going out of the right. Warning, drum beat incoming. And all of a sudden here comes a kick drum playing, and Mark probably recorded all the drums for this too. And I'm on this ladder, hanging the light, and I'm just like, okay, I know why Mark is doing sound and not me. I was so impressed by that. I couldn't believe it. I'm still impressed with that to this day. We have another viewer. Yay. So, what else happened? Actors got in at 2, and they're all having their lunch while I'm on a ladder, and I'm like, oh, hey, Rachel, as they're coming down. So by the time that happened, Pierce and Clark were there, the band was there, Tomac, Andrew, and Dave Scalia, our drummer, which I have stories about Dave and Pierce for the run. So after we finally got all the lighting up, the sound system up, and the set, we had a lunch break, and they went over what my duties would be. So as assistant stage manager for this, my job was to place all the props where they needed to be. There was a lot of times when I was doing even that, where I'm like, only during a StarKids show could I be saying this. For those of you who do not know, for Dysentery World, we replaced the animal masks with poop emoji masks. So every morning, every morning I'd get into the theater and I'd be like, okay, I gotta get the poop masks where they need to be. I just said that, like, or okay, I gotta help Joey out of the lobster costume. Yep, I just said that too. Like, a lot of it, and it was so weird because so many things for this show where, all right, who's dying tonight? Okay, no, Lauren, will you stop dying? You've died the past 2 nights. Give Jeff a chance. Things like that. So, okay, I'm just gonna reply to this tweet. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So, where was I? Give Jeff a chance to die. So that was also my job, was to count the votes for the death so that I could let Clark and Joey know, because obviously Joey had to know for the ending so we could announce it. And Clark, there were actually 3 or 4 different keys that You Gotta Go is written in, depending on who is singing it, who is dying that night. So, I think it was like Lauren and Jamie have the same key, Jeff and Corey have the same key, and Rachel has her own. It was something like that. So I was in charge of knowing who was dying and how many. Lauren died the first 2 nights by a landslide. Everyone seems to love her death. So that I have more stories about the death to come. But so also as assistant stage manager, I was in charge of the wagon a lot. I was in charge of opening the curtain, opening the scrim in the back of the stage so that the wagon wouldn't get caught in it, helping with any costume changes. And a lot of these stories that I have are just things that happen during it, where it's probably not that even as funny as I think it is. But let's see. Do I have a hat I can use as an example? Yeah, I'm moving to Chicago on Tuesday, so I have all these things packed, and half the stuff I usually use is not here. So no hat. So basically, like in Speedrun, when they do the faster part, where you see Joey run backwards and he has the big hat on, and then you see him again where he runs back and he has a smaller hat on. That was my job. So while they're doing Speedrun, I'm standing backstage, and let's say this is Joey's little hat. It has a little rubber band on the bottom, and as he runs backstage, I'm just standing like this the entire time. So he runs backstage, he throws off his small hat, he grabs this, he puts it on, he runs back, and he runs back again. And that's right after the breakdown where it's like, nothing can stop us. So during that breakdown, when it's anyone who was at the New York run, you heard clapping. That was me and Pierce. Every single night, we call ourselves speedrun buddies, because during that song, when it's the breakdown, Pierce and I, we're just jamming out. We're just like, can stop us now? Oh, we're having a blast. Every show, we were looking forward to that so much, just because that was our thing. A lot of that's why I love it. I had the opportunity to form those bonds with them. Joey and I had Poncho Time. Pierce and I had Speedrun. And they're just so much fun to work with. And I never thought I would have that opportunity, you know? So it was just incredible. So I have a lot of stories, so we have time for the entire hour. I might even extend this one out. So Wednesday of that week, they had the Stars in the Alley concert that Darren was hosting, because Darren. And so I was in the crowd for that, because we were only doing a show at 8 that night, so I had the entire day to myself. I only had to be at the theater for like 6:30 that night. So I was at Stars in the Alley. I went with Steph, and you know, I was halfway back, and I'm already getting like crowded and pushed into a corner. So I'm like, this isn't for me, and I'm trying to think of an excuse to be able to leave. And I got a group text from Nick, and it was like with everyone in it, and saying, well, if anyone wants to join us, Mark and I are going to the Museum of Natural History. So I'm like, ooh, spend the day painting the town red with the StarKids. So it ended up being me, Nick, and Mark. That was it, going through the Museum of Natural History. And because Nick works for the Adler Planetarium in Chicago, he was able to get us in for free. So we're looking at the dinosaurs and just spending time with Nick and Mark alone. You know, we're looking at dinosaurs, and we're looking at the little tiny ones, and you see, and Nick and Mark are like creating backstories of them. And you know, Nick's like, oh, look at this guy. You know, he was probably like a little dinosaur, and he was walking like this, and you see the big dinosaur looking down. And I'm just standing there, I'm like, what is happening? This is beautiful. These are my people. So we're geeking out about the dinosaurs. We're geeking out about all the other things we're seeing there. Then we get to the space part. They have a whole planetarium in there. Not a planetarium. I don't know. They have space. They have space. That's about the best way I can put it. So we see that there is a 35 to 40 minute movie on dark matter, narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson. So we see it, and we just look at each other. And we, without saying a word, we knew we had to go see this thing. So we go, and we realize you have to buy a separate ticket for the show. So Nick goes up to the lady at the counter and says, how much is it per ticket for this? Because I got in for free because I work for Adler Planetarium. She goes, it's $25 extra. So Nick shows her his ID badge for the Adler and goes, how much would it be with this? And she looks at him and she goes, you know, I don't really know, just go in. So the three of us, we just get to go into this giant like Epcot sphere and watch Neil deGrasse Tyson tell us about dark matter. And what was so cool about this thing was it wasn't just regular seats where we're sitting like this. We were sitting all the way, not even more back. Like we're sitting like this, and the screen was the ceiling, and it was like the top of a dome, and that was the screen. And the way they edited it, like we're watching, and I felt like I was like turning in my seat. It was so cool. And Nick, Mark, and I, we're just geeking out because space. So we get out of that, and we're looking at each other like our minds are blown. We just, holy crap, space. So, and we're geeking out, and we get out, and they have the spiral staircase that goes from where you get out of the planetarium all the way down to the floor. And as we're walking, it's going, if this sphere was the galaxy, then this ball would be the size of the sun. And then you go to the next one, it's like, if the sphere was the sun, this nickel is the size of Earth. and it went all the way down to be like, if the sphere was a hydrogen atom, then this, then, I don't know. This works. This little paper dot is like the size of a proton in that atom. It was the coolest thing ever. So we're going down that, and we get to the end of it, and there's a door. And it says 5-minute movie on the Big Bang, narrated by Liam Neeson. So we look at each other, and we had to go see that too. So so for this one, we go in, and instead of looking up on the ceiling for the movie, we're like, still gonna have like this visual aids. So like, this is, I don't even, okay. We're like standing around here, and in the middle of this, it's going further down, and the screen was inside of this. So it was like, it was almost looked like it was out of a sci-fi movie, where you were looking down at like a hologram of the Big Bang, narrated by Liam Neeson, because Liam Neeson. So we get out of that, and we walk in. There's another spiral staircase to lead to the floor. And it was the timeline of the history of the world, of like the universe. So even that, like, and we're walking, and it was like every footstep that you took, you were going forward like 5 million years. So you started off like before the Big Bang, and the next footstep was like a millisecond after the Big Bang. And so you start off and there's nothing. You take one footstep and there's the universe. And as you kept going, it was like, now that these are forming, this planet is forming, this is happening, this happened. They had a piece of rock that was fossilized that was 2.5 billion years old. Like, I'm looking at a piece of rock that's 2.5 billion years old. This was the coolest freaking thing ever. And I didn't pay anything. No one paid a cent. And we're like just geeking out because we're going down, and it's going over the course of like 45 billion years. And it goes, from where you went to now, the width of human existence is the width of a single hair. A single hair. So like a millimeter, not even a millimeter. That's it. That's the human existence compared to 45 billion years of this. And Nick goes to the human hair, and he goes, and there's Oregon and New York right there. So we're there, and then Clark calls. So we met up with Clark at Central Park. So we're leaving the planetarium, and we're like, okay, we need some lunch. So we start walking to Shake Shack, and as we're walking, Mark and Nick, we're just going, we're like, how crazy is it? Like, if you think about it, dark matter, because that's the whole thing that Neil deGrasse Tyson was telling us about. Here's dark matter that no one knows what it is, but it's literally what holds the universe together. And we're coming up with all these theories on what it is. And then Mark goes, guys, I got it. Dark matter is the afterlife. Because think about it. Like, we were so impressed by this. Like, the three of us, we worked it all out, and we were telling everyone in the cast. We get back to the theater, and we're telling everyone. So we're all like, guys, just think about it, ready? Because like, it only started to expand about 3 billion years ago, or whatever. That's when life started. So as you die, your soul becomes dark matter. And we're getting so, there's so many people dying and so many things, forms of life dying. The souls are the dark matter, and it's expanding because there's more people, more souls being added to it. And it's just where our minds are blown, just completely blown by, like, we might be onto something here. So, and we're like, so when you die, you become the very thing that holds the universe together. And Nick's like, I like that. Because if I would die, there's 3 ways I want to die. And he says, 1 by robots, 2 by aliens, and I think the 3 was dinosaurs. So, and then we got to thinking, well, what if it was alien dinosaur robots that could use swords? He's like, all right, man, it's a mixture. So we get a lunch, and then we meet up with Clark in Central Park, and we tell him the entire story. And he's like, well, damn. Like, we go, we need a Nobel Prize for this right now. We need to write a paper. All we write is think about it. We'll take a Nobel Prize now. So we were also all running very low on sleep because very long days the 2 days before that. So we're going through Central Park, and we almost got lost a couple times because they were doing construction, and we didn't know where to go. So we're walking, and Nick's like, okay, so someone gonna call Ruby and say, can we like hold the house for like another 3 hours because we don't know how to get out of here. We're lost. We might die in Central Park. What did I just break? I didn't break anything. Okay. I think I have pictures of that too. After that, we found this castle in Central Park. It was the coolest thing ever. And we climb up the castle, and we're on a castle in Central Park looking over a kingdom. I thought I had pictures of it. That's depressing. And you just see Clark. He stands over the ledge of the castle, and he's like this, looking over Central Park. And he's like, my people, your king has spoken. So we're having fun on that. And then we got a text from Jamie. And so we met up with Jamie at the zoo. And then we found out it's not free, like Jamie told us it was. So we start walking back, and it was just, that day was just we didn't have to worry about the show for a while, and we just spent the time walking around New York. Jamie bought us all ice cream because it was her birthday the next day, which there's another story for that, guys. I'm going to extend this. We're not going to end at 9. Screw it. So while we're walking, Nick sees a 2-year-old watching a turtle that was trying to cross the river. Nick's mind started to like meld with that of the 2-year-old, and Nick's watching the turtle, and he's cheering the turtle to cross the river. But yeah, it was just like a great day. We're just friends walking around Central Park, which I didn't think in my life I never thought I'd be saying that, where I'm friends with StarKid. Or hold on, let me just text Brian really quick, because Nick didn't answer my text and Lauren didn't answer my phone call. Like, things like this I never expect to happen to me. Things like me doing a live stream and people actually watching, I never expected to happen to me. So for the 6 people who have stuck through my rambling and nonstop talking, thank you. And I'm sorry, I guess. But yeah, you know, I don't have anything to do with Spies Are Forever, but I really want to see this thing go through. So you know, whatever I can do to get this to happen and to get them the funding that they need to make the show happen, I'm going to do. Just because I'm gonna be broke by the end of this campaign. I've already donated way too much. But yeah, so we're still at 30,560, which isn't too bad. You know, I'm just gonna tweet this out again. Try to get some more people watching. If you guys are watching and you're on Twitter, just tweet this out to your followers. You know, if we can just try to get whoever we can to watch this, you know, I want to be able to get these guys the money that they need to do their show. Still live on YouTube or Spies Are not size. Spies Are Forever. Come hang with me. Yay! People hang with me. Make me feel important, people. Come on. So, what other stories can I tell? Thursday, Jamie's birthday. I don't know if you had ever seen, if anyone saw her Instagram post where it was a corner of a playing card that looked like it was on a cupcake wrapper. Let me see. Jesus, there is quite the delay, isn't there? Okay, there is a little bit of a delay, so I'm waiting for you guys to see it live. I didn't realize there was like a minute-long delay, so this is the thing. So when that happened, I got to the theater about 2 hours early from what my call time was. So I get there, I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna be the only one here. I'm literally gonna be the only one at this theater right now, and I'm just gonna walk around and see what I can find for food. So I get to the theater, and there are already fans lined up, and Nick and Mark are there. So they look at me and like, what are you doing here? I look at them, what are you doing here? So we're going, and Twitter notification. And they're having some fans sign a card for Jamie, for Jamie's birthday. And they said they're going to have dinner, so I'm like, you know, you mind if I join you? Because something I noticed was while I was there, you know, I wasn't like included in some of the stuff, which, you know, I understood because I'm like an outsider going in to their group, so obviously I'm not going to be included in everything. But so we go up, you know, we go out for dinner. We're at the Calgo restaurant, and it's near the end of it when Nick pulls out a deck of cards, and him and Mark each show Jamie a magic trick, and it's a great job, and everyone's mind is blown. So then, right before Nick does his third magic trick, the restaurant comes out with a cupcake and a cowbell, and they start singing "Happy Birthday," and they're ringing the cowbell. So Nick has Jamie blow out the candles. Goes, don't touch that yet. I want to show you this trick. So he pulls out the deck of cards again, and he shows Jamie that it's a regular deck of cards. So Jamie makes sure it is, and he has her pick a card, any card she wants, and she he has to put the card. What does he do? Yeah, he has to take the card and give it to Mark Swiderski, who rips that card into a bunch of little tiny pieces. Gives Jeff Blim all the pieces except for the top left-hand corner. Gives that back to Jamie. So Nick asked Jeff to get rid of the pieces. So Jeff eats the pieces. Jeff ate the cards. So Nick says to Jamie, where do you think the rest of that card is now? And Jamie goes, in his colon. Nick takes the envelope and goes, happy birthday, Jamie Lynn Beatty. And so she opens up the envelope and she opens up the card. And in it says, ta-da! And in there is the Jack of Clubs with the top left-hand corner torn off. Nick goes, is that your card? Jamie goes, no. Nick has the biggest look of shock and just like shock and disappointment on his face I have ever seen. And so Jamie is cracking up. And Nick's just like, just eat your cake. And she's like, no, Graham, I'm sorry. I love you so much. It was great. I'm sorry. It was a great trick. And Nick's just eat your cake. Now, I was in on this, so I'm like, just eat the cake, eat it. So she takes the cupcake and she bites into the cupcake. And she goes, what the fuck? And out of her mouth, she pulls a folded up card that was inside the cupcake, the Four of Hearts, which was the card she chose. And on that Four of Hearts was the top left-hand corner torn off. And that's the story of Jamie's birthday. I have video of it, and you can hear Lauren in the background going, Nick, what the fuck? You hear everyone just like freaking out. And Jeff, Mark, Nick, and I, we are laughing our asses off at this because Jamie actually started crying because she was so overwhelmed by this trick. She's like, we are just, everyone is looking at Nick like he is a sorcerer doing dark magic from another world. And from that day on, Nick learned a magic trick before Act 1 that he would show us a magic trick before we call places for Act 1. He would learn a magic trick during Act 1 and show it to us during intermission. And then he would learn a magic trick during Act 2 and show it to us after each show. Nick became a resident magician at that point. So that was the Thursday night show. Friday we had the two show day, the matinee and the night. So Darren was at the matinee, and so Nick's doing a new trick to Darren, and he showed his dark magic to Darren and to all of us. Also during that Friday matinee, the daughter was named Brian Holden. So Jamie, during the open numbers, she goes, Brian Holden sounds like a real asshole. And Brian is upstairs in the dressing room, and he can hear her say that. So if anyone saw him tweet, that's not funny. That would be why, because Jamie just called him an asshole because someone named the daughter Brian Holden. So Act 1 happens there, and every time they have to say Brian Holden, I'm backstage with the band, and we are laughing our asses off. When Joey was backstage with me, him and I are just looking at each other, trying not to laugh out loud. We are laughing so hard at this. And so intermission happens, and we go up, and we're all talking to Darren, and they have an idea of how to open the second act, because it opens with Lost Without You. So you have the Bandit King pull up and go, "Come on, Child Bride." So instead of saying Child Bride, he actually said, "All right, Brian Holden, let's go." And he pulls out the real Brian Holden. And the audience is freaking out. And Joey looks at Brian's like, "Who the hell are you?" And Brian looks at him and goes, "I'm the Child Bride. Let's go to Mexico." So he throws Brian off stage, comes and pulls Jamie, and then the show continued. And that was the only thing that was different for that one. You guys are quiet in the chat. Come on, talk to me, guys. I want to talk about Joey's thing, the special ending Saturday, but I'm gonna save that until we get to 30,600. So $40 more, and I will talk about the secret ending for the Saturday night show. So while we wait for those $40 to come in, I'll talk about the little changes that we made for each show. Like there were a couple lines that were changed for the show to fit with New York and just kind of update it. So we had opening number. You'll get the special ending and $40. So the way that we changed some things is, in the opening number, we have the whole part where we're Broadway bound in Oregon because there's no Broadway in Chicago. Before it was in the original it was you can go next door and see something professional. You could go next door and see something professional. We wouldn't blame you a bit. It'd be sitting through this horror ship. So we changed that to you can go uptown and see Cats. We wouldn't blame you a bit. Same thing. It'd be sitting through the horror ship. We're Broadway bound in Oregon because there's no Broadway in Chicago. Now that we got our names, thanks for coming down to Cherry Lane, you could have seen Hedwig. Now, when they said you could have seen Hedwig and Darren was in the audience, that was the funniest thing. Everyone went absolutely insane about it. It was so funny. And that was something that we came up with the Hedwig thing about half an hour before we opened the very first night. So that was great. Other things that were changed were added line for pays to be an animal. What else? We didn't change too much. We just kind of, I think that was it. Gail, you went to a bunch of the shows. Were there any more changes that I'm forgetting? Just type them in there. I really want to tell you guys about the special ending, but I really should wait until we reach that goal that I just set. What else could I talk about? Julia, what would you like to work on with StarKid or people in StarKid next? That's a good question. I mean, they don't really have anything planned after Yes, I'm Afraid of the Dark is done. So unfortunately, I would love to work on the next musical. I've always wanted to be in that development phase of a musical where you're part of it from the very beginning, from writing the script all the way to putting on the stage. So to be part of that, do some sound or lighting or stage design with them, that would be a blast for me. And now that I'm moving to Chicago, I'm actually trying to get involved with that SpongeBob musical that's happening. Yes, it's a SpongeBob musical, so that's a thing. But again, that's a chance for me to be part of the development of a process. And I have massive respect for StarKid in the terms of the short time span that they throw these things together. I've been working on a show for about 2 years now, and there is no, I'm not even close to being able to put that anywhere. I'm like just starting to write the music now. But, anything that they work on, I would love to be a part of it. I would love to be a part of Spies Are Forever. I'm lucky enough where I have that working relationship with Moses, where he'll shoot me a text when he has a show coming up. And what's the famous kiss and the blindfolding, yeah. So Moses might be doing J-Moms in New York. And this isn't me spoiling anything because he tweeted out a very little quick thing about it. But if he does a J-Moms in New York for the holidays, if I'm home for that time, I'll be going down, most likely working it. But I mean, I still have footage from the last New York one that we haven't done anything yet. But Joe has a few things up his sleeve that I'm a part of that I can't talk about, but some very, very cool things that I'm working on, some animations, doing some video work for. I'm also, for those who don't know, I am Tessa Netting's editor for her YouTube videos, because now that she's unbunked, her schedule is a lot tighter and she doesn't have as much time as she used to. So now, I get the file sent over, and I do about a video a week for her. I would just love to work with Nick Lang on anything. Nick is such an amazing friend, and I'm so happy that I found him as a friend. And it's just I will work with anyone, any single one of them, for free, and I wouldn't have an issue with it. What else is there? I have to stop myself because I'm just gonna keep talking about, because I just love them too much. What else? How did I first find StarKid? I found StarKid January of 2010. I remember I was on Facebook, and I just saw someone had posted a link to A Very Potter musical, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like a dude with an afro sitting on a suitcase, and it says it's singing about Harry Potter. What is even happening? So I clicked on it, and yeah, I clicked on it, and the rest is history. I watched the entire show within, in one sitting. I kept going back out of my room to my mom. Oh my God, guess what? Just what I'm watching. This is so funny. Go back and watch another part. Oh my God, you'll never guess what they just did in this now. Go back and watch another. Oh my God, you got to see this. This is so funny. And from that point on, I was hooked. And I've been with them all the way from. By the time I found about them, me and my dick was already released. But from A Very Potter sequel on, I was there for all the midnight releases on YouTube, and I can honestly say that they've changed my life. 9 months after I discovered them, I was watching it with a group of friends, and we're talking to each other, and we're like, we should do a cover of Get Back to Hogwarts. So we're like, okay, well, yeah, we'll do that, but where could we do that? We were all in the music department when we were in high school, so they had this thing called the collage concert, where the kids in the music department can go in, they can audition separate their own acts, and talk, and they can just put on their own little acts in addition to the jazz band, the concert band, all the choruses. So we're like, we should do it at the collage concert. No, actually. We should do our own concert. We should make that concert a benefit, and we end up creating a nonprofit organization called the Woonsocket Autism Benefit that we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and actually a couple weeks ago I went to the Secretary of State's office in Rhode Island and filed the official paperwork. So we're an official nonprofit, and it all started because of StarKid, and it's so insane to think about that. You know, like, if I had never watched A Very Proud Musical, we probably would never even had the idea to do this thing. So, you know, when we were getting ready for the show, we had some articles down in the newspapers. So I sent over the links to the StarKid contact email that they had listed at that time, and Dylan emails me back and sends me all this merchandise. So I sent him a thank you email with my phone number. He calls me. We have like an hour-long conversation. Dylan was the first one that I became so close with. You know, even today, I haven't even talked to him in a while because any show he does turns out to be a show I can't go see, so unfortunately. And he had to change his number when he moved to LA, so I don't have his number anymore, unfortunately. But Dylan and I are still very close. When I do see him, it's just like old friends catching up. So through that, Dylan got me in contact with Pat, and Pat got me VIP for everything from then on. And Pat's been like, my little fairy godmother, as Steph and I like to call her, our fairy godmother. And so she helps me with that. She helps me with legal stuff. She helps me getting donations. Pat I call her my honorary agent. And it's just an insane thing to think about, where if I had never seen A Very Proud Musical, I would not be the co-chair of a nonprofit. I would not have worked off-Broadway already. And I don't even want to know what my life would be like. So, yeah. I became a fan 5 years ago, and now I'm lucky enough to call these people my friends and be able to work with them. And when I actually, I wouldn't even be moving to Chicago if it wasn't for this, because lighting designer Craig for the New York run, he works for the company I just got hired at, and he was so impressed with how fast I learned all the lighting stuff that he recommended me to their company. So now I'm hired. So it just kind of goes to show, you only need to know one person, and by knowing that one person, it's gonna snowball into your entire career unfolding before your very eyes. So that's the thing. It took me 5 years, but now I'm friends with these guys. So that's the thing. Any more questions? Okay, I'm not sure if we're gonna get to that 30,600 goal. So I'm just gonna talk about the secret ending. And if you guys like it a lot, maybe up your pledges. We'll do it that way. So the Saturday night show, because we closed on a Sunday matinee. So it was a show Saturday night, and because it was the second last show, we were like, we're going to do whatever the hell we want because we can. So we did. We had, during the World's at Stake reprise, I can never say that word right, and I feel like an idiot, and I shouldn't be in theater if I can't say that word. Joey hits the note, and we actually wrote a new verse for Joey to sing during that, because usually he completely cracks a note and then they just stop. He hits it this time, and you see Jeff like, what the hell was that? And Joey says to him, you ever really feel like deja vu? Like, I feel like I've lived this like 30 times, and I've never hit that note before. I did it this time. It's wonderful. So that was one of the first major changes that we did, just for that own single show. That was it. So as the audience was walking into the theater for that show, when they vote for Who Wants to Die, we had a 6th mystery box. naturally, the mystery box won. So, when it comes time for the ending, Joey and I had to rehearse this before, where when he usually comes out as the doctor to stop them from crossing into Oregon, instead of going out from the flat, he just stood behind it. So, like, how can I do this? With an alcohol bottle. That seems appropriate. So, like, here's the flat, and here's Joey. Hold on, pioneers, and he's just leaning out of the flat, because there's some things he's wearing that I'll get to in a bit. Hold on, pioneers. He does this whole thing behind it, and I'm standing right behind him with his costume for a quick costume change, where it was the ox. The ox died Saturday night. Why not? So when Joey says the person who's dying of dysentery tonight is, he just leaned his head back he leaned back into the flat, leans his head back. I throw the ox hat on him. I grab the stethoscope off, and he already has the arm tucked under his other arm. So after he talks, he goes like that, puts it on. His foot's already on, and he comes in as the ox. And I have it all on video. It won't be released, unfortunately, but I do have it. And before he starts singing, he goes, "Gather round, family, for the bestowing of gifts." So he tells son that he tells the son to take off his foot. So naturally, Lauren rips off the ox boot, and the ox has the son throw his foot. So the son throws the foot, and the son's like, "Oh yeah, that bounced pretty good." So, and the ox says to the son, "I've always grown fond of you." So the ox kisses the son, aka hashtag Rich Prez confirmed. Steph, if you're watching this, don't hate me for saying that. Audience went nuts. Twitter kind of exploded. Twitter kind of exploded over that kiss. That was a thing. So that happened. He tells the daughter that because the daughter always complained about his slimy skin, he gives her his hand, the driest piece of skin he could find. So the daughter pulls off the hand, and he's screaming in all the pain as that happens. So the daughter leans in for a kiss, and the ox like, no, that's perfectly fine, thank you. I am all set, thank you very much. So, and then he calls an audience member up and gives them a letter to give to his daughter Christine. "You'll know where to find her," he tells the audience member. Now, this wasn't just a regular letter in an envelope. No. This was a letter in a wax-sealed envelope. So during the lunch break between the matinee and the night show, Nick and Brian ran out and got a candle and a lighter. And after Joey wrote in the card, and the card literally said, "Moo," we sealed the envelope with wax. And we're like, oh, we should have had like a seal, like an actual like seal, like a design to put in the wax. We were looking for like a hoof or anything. We didn't have it. So we took a glue stick and just used the glue stick to make like the seal looking thing. Funniest thing in the world. Oh my God. What else happened? So he gives it to the audience member, and has the audience member read it out loud, and it says "moo." She starts laughing her ass off, and moos. And Joey's like, "Yeah, moo. That's about right. That is about right." Tell TCB and stuff. Julia, I've already talked to Joey about the video, I messaged him on Facebook, and he's seen the post. Because when I text Joey, he doesn't answer because he is very bad at texting. So I shot him a message on Facebook, and I let him know I have these, the pictures and the video. But until I hear back, I can't do anything with the video. The pictures, it's not like they're revealing anything. It's not like they're showing anything no one's ever seen before. So that's why I've just been tweeting those out. That's not an issue. But the video, I just have to be careful with. And especially, with me, since I do want to work with them some more. I'm being extremely careful with what I say and what I release, which is why I won't be talking about the after party too much. Let me just tell you, partying ain't no party like a StarKid party. And drunk Nick and Darren are fun. And I mostly remember that party. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah. Oh, don't spam the chat. Julia. Why would you spam the chat? Chat spamming isn't fun. I yell at people in the chats for doing that. See, it's nice that no one knows who the hell I am. So there's no spamming in this chat because there's only 7 people, and I'm sure some of you still don't know who the hell I am. That's the story of my life. But yeah, so the secret ending was Joey died, and Joey is singing the song. As Joey sings "You Gotta Go," he's telling the family, "Gather around as I shed my mortal coil and ascend." He is just so funny, and all of this, he's completely improvising this thing, where when it gets about where wait, I just make it. He's like, "No, I found my second wind. Shit, the pain's not bad. I can take it. This isn't working." But all that stuff. He finally dies, and the families gather around the dead body of the ox. And Rachel says her line of, "We made it to Oregon as a family." Now, in all the other shows, that was the cue for the family member. "Oh, the good Lord sent me back," or all that stuff. No, Alex just laid there. So Rachel's like, I said we made it to Oregon as a family." And they all just go look at the ox and make a huge head movement to look at Joey's dead body on the ground, and Rachel's like, "Well, goddamn, I guess he really did die." So, they just start the next scene. So they would just step over the dead body to finish, and they're blocking him. And Lauren goes, "Well, maybe now we can get a cow to replace that horny ox." And you just hear from in behind them, "No, that won't be necessary." So Joey starts standing up, and they all look at him, and Rachel's like, "You pulled through," and Joey's just like, "Yep." That poor ox wanted to die so hard. But yeah, so that was the secret ending to Trail to Oregon. I'm kind of out of stories, I think, for that, because I don't really want to talk about the after party, because that's some stuff that shouldn't be talked about. But if you saw the slow clap, the fast clap challenge that Lauren did, you'll see me call it the slow clap, because I had some drinks at that point. Joey's mom actually bought me a drink. But that's basically the scope of that party. Everyone had some drinks, and trying to do that is actually a lot harder when you're drunk. and to keep a straight face while you're doing that is something else. And for me to think it was a slow clap, and I didn't even realize that I had called it slow clap until about 2 weeks after when I watched them again, because I'm a genius apparently. And it's funny because I'm looking up and I'm looking at the comments on that Instagram video, and it's like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Oh my God, it's Adam. Who's that? Who's that? Wait, why is it? Who is he? Why is he there? What did he do? Who's that? Who's that? Oh look! Oh my God, it's Adam. Adam made it. Who's that? Who's? And I think that's how this is gonna be for a while, where no one knows who the hell I am. But if they do more shows, maybe people will know me. People are just starting to really know who Ruby is. Even me, I didn't realize Ruby was their assistant stage manager for Twisted. And she got that because Clark was a music director on a show she was doing, and I think in college. So Clark was like, "Oh yeah, so I'm doing a show in Ann Arbor. In Chicago? You want to work it?" Next thing you know, she's the assistant stage manager. Very cool thing that Ruby had on her laptop was when she did Willy Wonka in high school, I believe. Clark was the music director for that. And Clark, being Clark, he made an entire demo album of the entire Willy Wonka musical, including all the Oompa Loompa songs. And before before every single track, he would say, "Imagination" from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And then the song would start. So we discovered that on her laptop right before when the show started. So during intermission, people in the audience were hearing Clark's Willy Wonka demo that I don't think he even realized Julia owned. I mean, Ruby had in her possession, which was just so funny. And you could tell there were people in the audience who were so confused by hearing Willy Wonka songs when they were just hearing Talk Fine, but it was Clark singing them. And when you hear Clark singing the Oompa Loompa songs, it changes your life, man. It changes your life. But yeah, I think I'm actually out of stories, guys. Again, I've only just started to work with them, so I don't have too many heavy-hitting stories to tell you yet. But for the 6 or 7 who stayed here throughout the entire stream, thank you. Again, I'm not important enough to even be doing this, but apparently it got them $60. So maybe I am ish. But yeah, so I'm gonna end this now because I actually have to go pack up, more of my life. Let me see if I can show you guys. All my walls, they are just completely empty at this point because I'm packing. And don't think I can show you over there, but I have like an entire bookcase of DVDs that I still have to pack up. I still have all of this, the printer, audio stuff, scripts, binders, and I have about 5 days to finish packing. It might happen. Might. But yeah, so I'm going to try to get in touch with Joey after they're done in Michigan. I know he's at a wedding Saturday for his family. So when he gets back to LA, I'll try to talk to him and see if we can start something again. Maybe I'll do another live stream as we get towards the end of the campaign. If I do another live stream, it'll probably be from my new apartment in Chicago. I'm not saying where it is because, unfortunately, things like that happen where if I say where it is, I already have people looking through my Facebook for information on the StarKids, so I just have to be very careful. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. For whoever donated the $60 to them, thank you. You know, again, I'm not involved in this show in any way, shape, or form, but I just want to see this happen. And apparently, I am somewhat important enough to do this. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Bye. I'm going to do the Joey Victor version of signing off. Bye. Oh, it didn't press the button. That's awkward. Bye.